Did you know that across Canada, 1 in 4 children are not school ready before grade 1? Or that 50% of Canadians will get a mental illness before the age of 40? Or that 13% of Canadian households are food insecure? Hey Appleby, welcome to United Way Week. United Way is an organization helping 5,000 communities across Canada and over 200,000 people overcome obstacles and lead better lives. In this video, you'll hear members of the Upper and Senior School Service Councils and the VP of United Way Halton and Hamilton talk about the impact that United Way has had on communities both prior to and during the pandemic, and how you can make a positive impact in the lives of others through this amazing organization.
This is not something I've seen before. This is getting worse because everyone is stressed.
These bags are not for a trip. This is us being forced to move because Dad lost his job.
This is not the grocery store parking lot. This is my first visit using the food bank.
This is not my vacation. This is my home.
This is not my room with a view. This is my view of my grandkids.
This is not closing time for my shop. This is one of the 20% of nonprofits that could close within the next 6 months. Our lives have changed because of COVID-19. You also have the power to change lives.
I'm so excited to introduce Dr. Michael Michalak, the Vice President of Community Impact for the region of Halton and Hamilton at United Way. He is the founder and owner of Common Ground Teaching Farm, has been an urban agriculture assistant, and he has written a book called The Politics of the Pantry: Stories, Food, and Social Change. He is passionate about community and bringing people together to create change, and we are so fortunate to have him here today to speak about the challenges United Way has been facing as a result of COVID-19 and how they are adapting their outreach programs to continue helping those in need.
So today, I want to talk about some of the issues facing the most vulnerable members of the community and how your support of our Community Investment Fund and the COVID Emergency Fund is literally saving lives. So in a way, I think what COVID is giving us is a unique opportunity and insight into the anatomy of the nonprofit sector. It's like an X-ray peering beneath the skin. We are seeing stress fractures buckle under the increased loads and the result of decades of downloading more and more onto the charitable sector. Ultimately, you can't do more with less. Something has to give. And today's panel discussion is going to give you some insights into the unique challenges COVID has presented us. And what changes have we seen as a result of this pandemic? What does it reveal about the path forward? And what are we doing at the United Way to respond? That's what I want to talk about today. So first and foremost, and I think most of you understand this, our sector is built on volunteers. That's literally the foundation. And this is both a strength and a weakness. And some of our panelists are going to be talking about this. Jamie in particular from the Welcome In will be talking about this later. But our sector relies on volunteers. It relies on them for critical labor. It relies on them for raising funds. It relies on them for so many different things. One of our programs that we support in Oakville, Meals on Wheels, relies on quite elderly volunteers to deliver those meals to other individuals. And they're having a hard time right now keeping people safe and really sort of balancing the needs of the community with balancing the safety of their volunteers. This is incredibly challenging and introduces huge complexity to operations that are already running very smoothly and efficiently. We also know that right now revenue models are being upturned. We tend to think of the nonprofit sector as being primarily grant-driven, but many of our agencies actually run social enterprises. They run cafes, thrift stores, daycares, and fee-for-service programming that really funds a lot of the work that they're doing. And a lot of those things are having to close down. Again, Jamie will talk about this a little bit later, but many of our agencies are facing that. I think a particular of an organization like Catholic Youth Organization in Hamilton that offers day camp and school services. They literally have no income from that anymore, and that's providing a big challenge. It's also fundamentally changing some of the care models. These are being upended, so we don't live online. And for people with disabilities, limited access to technologies, or seniors, I think Zoom isn't the answer. And as much as we joke that people are stuck to their phones, I think a lot of people are realizing that that face-to-face connection, there really is no, there's really no alternative to that. And because our sector is so relational, it's very difficult to go digital. And I'm encouraged by actually seeing some of the creativity that is emerging as a result of this, that to fulfill that basic need for human connection, we're seeing a lot of agencies really pivot and flex. So Community Living Burlington, for example, is utilizing one of the programs that we started recently, which is a community donation stream that connects corporate donations with our community agencies. And they're actually taking laptops and ukuleles and providing them to their group home participants who were used to having programming where they got together and did things, and are now going to be hosting virtual music lessons as a result of this. And that fundamental need for human connection, we have to find ways around it. And we're seeing a lot of creativity around this. But for some, there really is no way around this. And a lot of agencies are having to make very hard choices about balancing the physical safety of their participants and the needs of things like drug treatment programs that are unable to run as a result of these things, or they're running in very minimal ways. And this is going to have some long-term impacts. I think what we're seeing is, something that has been on a lot of people's minds, which is the effect of social isolation. And this isn't the same as social distancing. Social isolation has profound health effects. It can actually be as bad for you as smoking. And often programs, we think of programs like food banks and drop-in programming and exercising as being sort of, have outcomes like food security. But they're often actually leveraging those opportunities to connect people, to ensure that they're coming together and coming out of their homes and breaking some of that social isolation. And so I think what we're going to see is a sleeping giant beneath the COVID crisis, which is a mental health crisis. And we're going to see a lot of issues come up with that. And we'll be hearing from CMHA Hamilton later to talk about this. But I think, what leaves a lot of hope for me is that I'm seeing our agencies and our community really rally around the art of the pivot. People are changing their plans. They're moving on. They're really reacting quite quickly. And crisis, I think, it's difficult, but it also brings out the best of us. We're seeing things like caremongering groups and the incredible generosity of our donors. As Brad said, our emergency fund has already is approaching $100,000 already. And we've seen donors come up to help us fill in gaps in the campaign that are truly phenomenal. So what I want to talk about a little bit is, as we move from crisis to resilience, what does that mean? So what is resilience? We hear this term a lot. And to me, resilience is the ability to maintain function despite shocks to a system. A system is resilient when it can provide some sort of desired output, even under changing circumstances. And this is something that the United Way has really been looking at on a sector level through our community impact strategy and framework and a number of strategic initiatives over the last few years. And we know that in order for a system to be resilient, we need a certain base level of stability. And so thanks to your generous donations, we are able to maintain funding this year despite recent shocks. And it shows how resilient our community is when driven by compassion and care. But we also know that we need to be flexible. And so one of the first things that we did as an organization was to extend flexibility to our agencies, to say, we know that things are changing. We know that the plans you have made are not the same. We know that you need to pivot. And so we are extending flexibility to our agencies so that they can reallocate towards those needs that are more pressing right now. We also know that we need to raise more funds, both in the short term and in the long term. And so our emergency fund is already mobilizing emergency dollars to fund in those unforeseen expenses that are coming up, whether it's cleaning supplies or food or dealing with wait lists. But as Brad said, we are also advocating. So we've been working with our partners across the country to advocate for some significant dollars to flow into our community. So over $200,000 will be flowing into our community to support isolated seniors over the next few weeks. And we are speaking with politicians to ensure that the bailouts that are coming for our companies are also coming for the charitable sector. We're also connecting organizations. So our donation stream is working very hard right now to support frontline workers and their clients. And we've been able to connect over $40,000 in cleaning supplies, dog food, diapers, menstrual hygiene products, and laptops to crucial services on the front line. We're even, and I think, in a equally beneficial way, we're connecting things like musical instruments and toys and creating care packages for frontline staff. I'm also really excited by some of the coordination that's happening as a result of this. So we are working actively with other task forces and roundtables and grantors, with other funders, to make sure that we understand the crisis in real time and that we're able to coordinate our efforts. And where one funder might not be able to fund something, another funder can step in and provide that. And this is incredible, the kind of work that's happening here. And we're seeing some collaboration that is truly heartening and that I hope will continue as we move forward.
Hi Appleby, I'm Lindsay from Senior Service Council. I will talk shortly about how we can get involved both within and outside the community and the importance of volunteering. When you think of volunteering, you might have image of helping people by person, However, in this pandemic, there are also lots of ways to help the community virtually. Donating can be one way, and virtual volunteering, which is done online via computers or smartphones, is also one way to support people. Individuals can be engaged in services such as video creation, virtual assistance, staff support, translating documents, and counseling people, and so more. Why is it important to participate in these projects? First, volunteering can alter self-perception, allowing people to build confidence, self-esteem, and learn new skills. Also, not only helping the community, but we can feel part as a community and feel less depressed because of the pandemic and feel socially connected. Next, Lillian will talk about how the money is used and how the United Way helps.
You may be wondering, what is my money going towards? Who is United Way helping? Well, United Way supports many programs and agencies, providing aid to a wide range of people, from children to seniors. In fact, donations from 2019 to 2020 supported 64 agencies and 128 programs, helping 209,195 people, 26,018 of which were seniors, and 23,365 of which were youth. This was no easy feat given the ongoing pandemic. United Way is very transparent with their inner workings, and a full list of agencies that they support can be found on their website. The money donated from our United Way Week will greatly help to support these programs, agencies, and people. As a school, we can make a positive impact.
There's going to be lots of fun activities throughout United Way Week. You can expect a World of Dance competition, Krispy Kreme donut sales, gratitude grams, and a red dress down day. For the dress down day, it's $3 if you wear red and $5 if you don't. All these activities are designed to promote awareness and raise money for United Way, and they're all organized through various councils at the school. Donating through these activities can support a child for 3 months with literacy materials for online learning for only $5 a month. And for $30 a month, you can provide 78 homeless individuals with a breakfast and hot lunch.
So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this chapel video and learned more about United Way and some of the work that they do. As Nimrit mentioned, there are a lot of activities planned for you guys next week, so keep an eye out on your email for the schedule with all the details. Huge shout out to the upper and senior school members who helped me out in that video, and of course, huge shout out to Thea for helping us edit. I hope you're excited for United Way Week. It's gonna be awesome.